everybody. Uh, Real quick, if you're here, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me because I couldn't find my little attachment for my microphone. So, yeah. Trev, how's it going, sir? Can you hear me okay? Just want to make sure everybody can hear me. Yep, okay, good. Hey, Silver Knight, Mr. Bigger, how are you? Yeah, you might notice my hat is also not here today. That's perfectly fine. We are decorating for Christmas. The tree is up. Ornaments are in some boxes in the back here. So, excuse me. I think my hat is under a Christmas box somewhere, and hopefully the little attachment for my microphone that I need is there as well. So give everybody just a few moments to come in. Yeah, this is. I couldn't believe this is actually episode 40 of our little live show here. I think I only took like 1 or 2 weeks off in that time period, but I should have taken today off. It's just a crazy, crazy day. Hey, Neil, how's it going, sir? Uh, so what I'll do, because I'm waiting for my guest host, who's using the sink right now, to while we're waiting for her, because she's going to give us her review of New Mutants we discussed last week. I'll talk about what's been going on, and I'll tell you about what I read this week. There's no pickups this week, but I do have an unboxing coming up, so you'll be seeing that shortly. Yeah, so I have been taking a little time off of recorded videos, if you haven't realized that. It started because my iPad Pro decided to just become a brick one day and just not work anymore. So I knew Black Friday was coming up. I figured let me wait for some specials, and I finally bought a replacement after trying to get my current iPad fixed. This, really it was kind of an economic thing. The best price I found to fix it was like $300, and they said, look, to be honest with you, this is going to be a patch. It's not going to be a permanent fix. You are better off buying a new one. So that's what we're doing, and hopefully, that's what we're talking about. Hopefully, we should get that before December 1st. So I've been watching my Apple account every day, and it's weird. I had to buy a couple parts, I guess, because this, which is fairly, I shouldn't say this. I got this 5 years ago, but I've been drawing with this on my iPad forever, and this apparently is no longer compatible with the newer iPads because why would it be? So that's shipping out. Hey, Remy Q. That's already on its way, and the iPad should, again, hopefully be here before December 1st. That was the latest date that they gave me. Honestly, I hope it comes earlier. I didn't want to go to the mall and pick up a new one because I don't want to go anywhere near a shopping mall or a store if I don't have to. But so hopefully we'll be back on the pony with that. And I do have some videos planned right out the gate and I'm off this week. We have a couple appointments Monday and Tuesday, but hopefully I should be able to pump out some videos. It is, Neil. It is a first generation. And here's the thing, too, because I've been looking for different things to do in the meantime with this. I didn't know this. Apparently, you can't use an Apple Pencil, a stylus, anything on your iPhone. So that's a ripoff. But what can you do? You're stuck with Apple. You're stuck. And I was a little pissed because I was starting to draw like a different picture of a comedian every single day. I missed Harassment Day this past week. If you're a fan of Patrice O'Neill, you know what I'm talking about. If not, you need to look up Patrice O'Neill because he's hilarious. But look up specifically Patrice O'Neill and Harassment Day, and the sync has stopped, so that's good. So before my wife joins us to talk about, yeah, I know you're going to grab the baby, to talk about her review of New Mutants 29, I'll show you what I did read this week. And main event. It's funny. I was reading. Hey, Brian. I was actually reading. Apple was on the verge of releasing a stylus or a pencil for the iPhone, and for whatever reason, they're like, nah, we're not going to do that. And I've tried with, excuse me, I've tried with other styluses. Apparently, there's like a hack if you wet like a paper towel and put this around it, it'll work. But I don't want to risk getting anything wet. They're $100 to the second version is more expensive. Yeah, I saw that. Hey, Wellbore. Uh, okay, so let's take a look here. So again, take this with a grain of salt because I am behind. I haven't been to my LCS in about a month. Maybe I'll be doing that this week too. We'll see. Uh, so I read Exterminators issue 1. I think the third issue is out on this already. Overall, I enjoyed it. I like the kind of light feeling of it. I like the action. I think it's well paced. The only drawback I have, this issue, you really see three, really four, but three of the members. I guess the X-Men ladies, Dazzler, Jubilee, and Boomer or Boom Boom, whatever she goes by now. I know she goes back and forth like that. I really don't feel like the writer has the right tone for Dazzler or Jubilee. Boomer, Boom Boom, whatever. Yes. Dazzler's feels a little bit off, but I can live with it. Jubilee's, it doesn't sound like her to me. And look, I'm not the most up to date on Excalibur, or I didn't read Knights of X. So if anybody has, you can fill me in. But I thought Jubilee had a baby that I know in Excalibur turned into a dragon. I assume he got turned back into a baby. I don't know. I'm going to continue with the series. Like I said, I do like the fast kind of pace of it, and I do like the reveal on that last page. So I look forward to reading issues 2 and 3 once I pick those up. This is one my LCS threw in X-Men and Moon Girl. You okay, honey? I'll stand up. It's fine. Let's see. Sorry, lost track here. Yeah, this one wasn't for me. I've read some Moon Girl before. Obviously I've read X-Men. But yeah, this one, it was okay. High Evolutionary is the villain in it. It seems like there were some other parts to this that I didn't read. But yeah, it's good if you're. It says it's rated for teens. I don't see that. I feel like that's for a younger crowd. So if you have maybe a preteen who's starting to read or interested in comics, or you're trying to get into comics, that would be something good to pick up. X-Men and Moon Girl. In fact, you know what? If you do have somebody like that in your family, let me know. I'll just even give you this copy. Okay, team up book. Ms. Marvel and Venom. First, I got to tell you, I love the peach cover on this. I really do like how she does Venom. If you've been reading her, I know we waited until we live streamed to make all the noises in the house. Fun day. If you've read any of her, I don't know what they're called now, the samurai-esque kind of Marvel books, then you've seen her different takes on the different Marvel characters, and the Venom is kind of more like a snake-like character. The story itself, I think it was a satisfying ending. It was not as good as the other chapters. Is that Devil Dinosaur? Yes, Devil Dinosaur's in that too, main event. Like I said, though, I think this is the last part of the series. Hey, Zach, how are you? I think it's the last part of the story. It's just okay, in my opinion. As far as this, again, yeah, this is the conclusion to the Ms. Marvel team-ups. Not as good as the other chapters. The writer, Jody Hauser, to be honest with you, I go back and forth with. I don't like how... I think Jody's a he. If I'm wrong, correct me. But I don't like how he wrote Venom. He tried to make it sound like it's too much like the film. And granted, I haven't read a Venom book, at least I'm aware of, in a while. The last time I was collecting Venom was during the Rick Remender run, right after... Sorry, I'm hot. I gotta take my sweatshirt off here. It's not an OnlyFans page. Relax. Yeah, when he did it was like a 5-part crossover with Venom, X-23, Red Hulk was involved. Something with, I think it was with Mephisto in Vegas. After that, I kind of jumped off of it. And that was during the Agent Venom days. So it's been quite a while. I don't know if that's how they're writing him in the book, in the main series now. I've read parts of King of Black online, and actually I read the first issue of Donny Cates' Venom on the Marvel Unlimited app. I don't know. It's not my Venom, I guess you could say. The story itself, like I said, is a satisfactory ending. Not as good as the other chapters, in my opinion. Again, the Peach does the cover, but the interiors, I thought were Ryan Stegman, and I'm wrong. It's Dave Watcher. And I have to say, he has a Stegman-like art style. I enjoyed it very, very much. It's kind of, it mix. To be honest, it reminds me a little bit of a mix between Stegman and Bagley. I know that that's a hell of a mix to throw in, but yeah, I liked his artwork more so than the writing in this. Okay, the next one is a bit of a controversial title in that I shouldn't say controversial. I've seen people who say they love it, people say they hate it. She-Hulk #6. Bless you, honey. Yeah, a lot of people are kind of feel a way about this title. I like it. It's not an action-packed title. It's definitely a different type of superhero comic. Different pace to it. I really like, to be honest, I'm really liking it just because it feels like a good break from your typical superhero stories. And to be honest with you, I kind of like She-Hulk, I think, better in this style of writing rather than, say, and some might see this sacrilegious, Peter David's run a couple years ago where she was a skip tracer. It's honestly, it's a lot like Dan Slott's run, um, without being overly goofy, if that makes sense. And I love Slott's run. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I'm loving that book. Rainbow Rowell, I believe, is the writer on it. Okay, next is a book I don't typically read. I have not read any Avengers titles in a while. I think I tried a couple issues of the current run when it started, and just wasn't into it. Jason Aaron's run, that is. So this one kind of drew me in, honestly, because of the art style. This is All Out Avengers #1. Art is by Greg Land, who is one of my favorites. Fun fact: I actually have a Greg Land signed print, and it's framed and ready to be hung up. The only print I have, hey fanboy, the only print I have in a frame that's not hanging up, and the reason being, it's a drawing of Green Arrow and Black Canary, Green Arrow and Black Canary. That is, I was a big fan of the New 52 Green Arrow. I thought they had a great story going up to the wedding between Green Arrow and Black Canary, which, I don't know, it struck me on a wrong chord. But I was at Comic-Con at the time in New York City, and great print. It's Green Arrow and Black Canary just kind of embracing. My wife doesn't like it. She thinks Black Canary's costume is a little too risque for her taste, so that's not hanging up. But that's fine. So All Out Avengers is kind of in the same vein as Nonstop Spider-Man, if you've read that, where it's more of an action-paced title. But I have to say, the story really kind of captured me. At first, I was like, oh, this is just a one-off story, because it throws you right into the action. You really don't know what's going on. And at that point, to be honest with you, at first I was like, this is terrible. They just threw you right in. But they kind of tie it in where they say, hey, I think Blade is one of the ones in here. And by the way, one thing I have to say while I was reading this, before I go off on too much of a tangent, I thought it was really interesting how I know that sometimes after a film comes out, the artist might draw the character a little bit differently to kind of resemble the film. But here we are, like 20 years plus after the Blade film, and they're still drawing Blade to look like Wesley Snipes with those kind of Matrix-esque glasses where you don't have the ear frames. I don't know what they're called. You know what I talk about. But like I said, I mean, it's action packed. Greg Land art, of course, is always great. Um, and like I said, they throw you right into the action. At first, it's a little disconcerting. Spider-Man is flying a spaceship for some reason, and then at one point they kind of make it so that you see. I think it's Blade is like, "Hey, what's happening?" He can't like all of a sudden remember what's happened over the last 2 days. So this whole mystery about the story is kind of integrated into it. So you're not alone. All the characters don't know what's going on either. And that led right into All Out Avengers issue 2, which I really enjoyed. First of all, look how awesome that Doctor Doom is. He's holding not only Cap's shield, but Thor's hammer. And She-Hulk is in it, but right there. But it's not the. It is more the action-paced kind of She-Hulk. It's not the She-Hulk that we see in the series. It does kind of look like. Tell me if I'm wrong on this. It does kind of look like they lifted. I don't know if they lifted She-Hulk from the cover, or if they lifted She-Hulk from the story and just kind of like reoriented her. Which I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but it's a little all over the place in that sense. So great issue. I have to say that you're getting again. You're thrown into this action-paced event, and nobody quite knows what's going on. It looks like something happened that split Doom into 2 parts: a good Doom and a bad Doom. Excuse me for 1 second. You can make it? Okay. Ornaments aren't on the tree yet, so my wife is nice enough to squeeze past the coffee table and the tree. So the little guy is here as well, so you'll be prepared to hear Grogu noises. So yeah, Doom is split, so you have the best part of Doom and the worst part of Doom as 2 separate entities. So the light Doom and the dark Doom are fighting one another. And great story. Bigger's bouncing because it's not a DC comic. Bigger, I'll say this. I actually, part of my Black Friday shopping, I went online to see if I could get DC's Infinite service, their digital service, at a discount. They are having a really great discount, actually 50% off, but not for the main tier, not for the tier where the books are available for you to read 30 days later. So I didn't go with it. I'm going to check them out, I think, again on Monday to see if they've changed their minds. But yeah, after this really cool fight between, we'll say, Light Doom and Dark Doom, which was a lot of fun, I'll say that, they do run into this whole memory blip thing again, too, where Iron Man kind of acknowledges he has no idea what's going on, and then goes to his suit's recordings for the past 2 weeks and finds that they're all blank, and nobody can understand why. So I'm definitely interested in seeing where this story goes. Like I said, I bought it for the art, but yeah, the story is great too. The writer is a Derek Landy, who I'm not familiar with. So you have Landy and Land on the title. And I don't know if you heard, but the artist on this title, this is All Out Avengers, I was just talking about. He's the same artist who drew the Green Hour and Black Canary picture downstairs that you don't like. So we were talking about that. Next was not a single issue. This is something I actually.
That's thick.
It's not too bad, actually. I've actually had in my collection for years. I think I actually bought it right before we got married. And then when I moved the comics, I put them in a box, and I hadn't read this yet. So I finally read it. It is Deadpool Kills Deadpool. This is an older Deadpool story. Mike Del Mundo artwork, which I'm a big fan of. We're going to talk about Mike Del Mundo in a few moments too. Colin Bunn did the writing. Colin Bunn, and I don't know if I realized this at the time I bought the book, but Colin Bunn, in my book, he's either great or not so great. There's no in between. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm being generous by saying not so great. So this was a time, I think, actually right after I stopped reading Deadpool, which was when you had the Deadpool corpse. If you don't remember, because I know that it's been a while at this point, there were a group of Deadpools from different realities. You had the zombie Deadpool, who was a head just with a propeller on it, so you can move around. You had Dogpool, Kidpool, Lady Deadpool, and yeah, they had a whole bunch of other ones. So I kind of always wondered what happened to those Deadpools because some of them were interesting. I thought Lady Deadpool in particular was interesting, and this was the answer. I never knew what was happening there. So basically, the Deadpools from all around the multiverses are being killed by a mysterious enemy, and our Deadpool reteams with his other Deadpool counterparts to find out exactly who. Yeah, Zombie Deadpool was great until he wasn't. And I mean, I'll give you mild spoiler in this. He's the first one to get killed, and he's killed in a pretty hilarious fashion. That I won't show you, but um, yeah. So basically, it's basically an all-out war between the Deadpools. I'm trying to show you some non-spoilery pages, but it's everything that you'd. I shouldn't say it's anything everything you'd expect from a Deadpool comic because to be honest with you, I didn't enjoy it that much. Um, yeah, here's some Mike Del Mundo artwork here. He's eating the chimichanga. Um, yeah, to me, Deadpool. This is my feeling on Deadpool. Like I liked Deadpool's original limited series, which I know is a bit of a collector's item now. Um, lately, I don't think they really kind of know what to do with him. I feel like he's been in this kind of space where it's like I want to be a member of the X-Men or the Avengers, but not really type of spot. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think. The last time I read him was during that kind of phase where he was trying out for the X-Men, trying out for the Avengers. I forgot. It was during the Daniel Way run. But this one wasn't that good. It kind of reminded me. They kind of boiled it down to where he's kind of like a not a Bugs Bunny type of character, more of like what you'd expect from like a Freddy versus Jason type of storyline. I was going to show a page, and I just realized that the big enemy is revealed on that, so I'm not going to show you that one. But here's another one that's kind of interesting. It's Galactus Pool, so a Deadpool Galactus kind of amalgam. I mean, look, if you want to read, it's something you could read in one sitting, no problem. Okay, especially after Thanksgiving. Um, yeah, I mean, if you kind of want something that's a little bit light and you can kind of mentally toss away after, it's a great read. I would have liked something a little bit more involved, and like I said, it felt a little bit too much like a hack slash type of thing to me. But yeah, not my favorite. I do like the artwork, not the interior individual pages; those are fine. But I like the covers during this again. Big Mike Del Mundo fan. Um, I mentioned I was going to speak about Mike Del Mundo a bit. I have something on my way from Mike Del Mundo's webpage. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you might know that I am a huge fan of Mike Del Mundo. I did a whole video, one of my favorite videos. I think it is my favorite that I've ever done, honey, where I go through my assessment of his artwork and I show to you the quintessential page, the diagram of which all comic book panels should be designed around, in my opinion. So if you haven't watched that video, you should. I don't know how to do a link through StreamYard, especially on a phone, so you're going to have to do a little bit of searching. But excuse me, if you go to my channel, you go to the playlist. It's under the artwork playlist. And it's also under the best of playlist. So I recommend that you check that out. Again, that one particular panel is everything comics should be, in my opinion. And I got an email from his website last week saying, "Hey, yeah, it's just like a general survey they sent to everybody. It wasn't just asking me. I should point that out. Hey, what kind of prints do you think Mike should offer next?" And I said, "You know what? This thing from this issue, which I'm not going to spoil it for you, um, that's the best. I need that." And his assistant replied, he's like, "Here you go. Mike remembers you because I said, hey, I did a video, so got a little bit of a discount, and the print's going to come signed. So I will show that off at some point." Okay. And speaking, by the way, Black Friday, if anybody got any Black Friday comic deals or anything, let me know because I'm interested in seeing what everybody got. Like I said, I tried to check out DC's Infinity Service, and The tier I wanted to wasn't on sale, so I didn't do anything, but I'm going to check again on Cyber Monday. I know Marvel Unlimited is having a sale as well. Um, I don't know about some of the other stores. I know that um, what is that? Not Unknown. I can't remember now. Store out of Pittsburgh. I want to say South. I don't know. I'm not finding a lot of comic deals online. Why don't we just say it like that? I know that Shortbox has a discount going on, but it's still you're buying a Slabs comic, you're buying it from Shortbox, so I think it's 10% off. Depending on what you're getting, it may or may not make a significant dent. But if you didn't know about those, then you do. You do now at least. And I'm not sponsored. I don't have any affiliate codes or anything like that. But if you want to look around, you have extra spending money, go ahead. So, I know, you ready to talk about New Mutants?
Yeah.
Okay, so just grabbing it here. Last week, you might remember I talked about New Mutants number 29. I said this is a great comic. One of my favorites, she's already smirking. One of my favorites, I think, of the series, and it's a standalone story. It's not tied into other parts of the stories. It's actually a book I've been considering buying copies for my siblings, just because I thought it was a great story. So my wife, well, and I just actually realized this is an homage cover, I think, to Cable's first appearance. It kind of picked up with the little circles. Master, glad to hear you're feeling better. Hope the kids feel better soon. I'm going to message you. I have to ask you a question. And it just reminded myself now, but I've been meaning to message Durs as well. And I haven't been too much on IG or YouTube this week, and my brain is kind of a flutter. But I am off this upcoming week, so hopefully I get to play a little bit of catch up. It just struck me that's a Cable homage cover. So before we get into, why don't you tell us, just yes or no first, did you like it?
It was okay.
It's just okay. Okay. So scale of 1 to 10, where does it fall?
7.
7. 7's a good score. Hey, that's passing. White Wolf, how are you, sir? White Mojo Wolf, rather. White Mojo Wolf, by the way, not really a comic-based channel. He does talk a little bit about comics, just a teeny bit, but if you're interested in some video game talk or just some great videos in general, you got to check him out. I'm kind of lucky because everybody here has great channels who makes stuff here. But, okay, so, and I should say this, I'm going to speak openly about this, so if you haven't read this issue and you're intending to, you might want to just la la la, because I'm going to talk about some spoilers. Coffee's kicking in, hence the la la la. Okay, so first of all, let me ask, now, what do you know about New Mutants in general? Just not even talking about this issue, just to give everybody a framework.
Not a whole lot.
So what do you know?
Not a whole lot.
Well, you remember we saw the movie.
Yeah, but you're saying comics-wise,
Well, no, just in general.
And, I mean, whatever I've seen in the movies, but...
Right, and the movie, was not a good representation.
Right.
Yeah. So, judging by the cover, and there's a lot of characters from the film and some who weren't. You have Magic, who I know you don't like.
Right.
Danny Moonstar. You remember she was the main one in the movie?
Yeah.
And you have Ron, that was the Game of Thrones girl in the movie. The others weren't in the movie, so I'd be surprised if you knew them. But they don't. It's kind of funny that they have those characters on here because they aren't really integrated into the story. The story focuses on really 3 characters. Were you familiar with the characters?
Not really.
Okay, so I'll fill you in on some of the lines and maybe tell me if this gives you a different appreciation. Okay, so the main characters are Daken. Are you familiar with Daken?
I don't think so.
So he's this character here. So here's Daken. And like I said, this is a different kind of style too, Chris Samney style. He is Wolverine's son.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get along all the time. Wolverine didn't remember he existed for a long time because Wolverine has memory issues. But he has claws, 2 here and 1 kind of under his wrist. And he also gives out a pheromone, so he can control your emotions as if you're fighting through his pheromones. And this other character here, you don't really see in costume until midway in the story. And they do give you a little recap. Did you read the recap page?
Yeah.
Did it help you?
Let it bit.
Okay, so this guy here, he's James Proudstar. His name is Warpath. Are you familiar with him?
Yeah.
So he's really kind of. You got to help me out here. I don't go too deep with Warpath, but he is very very much like a brawler type of character as well. His connection to the story was his brother. His name was Thunderbird, Native American character. Was one of the first of the second X-Men team. The original X-Men team were kidnapped at one point on Krakoa, the island that they live on now, but Krakoa at one point was a villain. And Xavier had to assemble a team to go rescue the first team, and that's where Wolverine, Storm, Nightcrawler, and Colossus and Banshee joined the team, and Sunfire. And Thunderbird was part of that team. On his second mission, Thunderbird was killed. He was the first X-Men to die. Recently, with the recent X-Men titles, part of now that they all live on Krakoa, they're making nice with Krakoa. That was the little guy. That was a great burp, buddy. Bravo. When the X-Men die, they can be resurrected. There's a whole process, and there's some fine red tape in that. So Thunderbird was recently resurrected. So you see that the one brother was killed, and now for the first time, the little brother is kind of around while the older brother is alive. And then the young girl that they're trying to rescue in that Scout, are you familiar with her?
Yeah.
She also goes by the name of Honey Badger. She is. So you have Wolverine, right? You have Daken.
Mm-hmm.
You remember X-23?
Barely.
She's the female Wolverine. We have the picture downstairs.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so she's a clone of Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
Scout is a clone of the clone. So she's like X-23's younger sister. So she's got all kind of like Wolverine powders, but she's in a small little girl's body. So basically, her and Daken are siblings. That's how they view each other.
I got that part.
And they're raiding an Orcus facility. Orcus is kind of like a big military type of organization.
Yeah, I got that part.
Okay. So, does that help clear up anything?
I mean,
does it give you, let's say,
slightly, like I got the storyline. I mean, the storyline is pretty basic. I thought the beginning was a little slow, and you didn't really know what was happening. It was a little confusing. It was a lot of back and forth. And then towards the middle, I understood a little bit more of what's going on. And then towards the end, I thought it was a little bit more touching, where the sibling was looking for another sibling, is worried about them and whatnot. So in the end, it came together. But the beginning was iffy for me. That was the only trouble I was having.
You don't like stories where it's kind of like you don't know what's going on first, and then it all starts to make sense?
No.
You don't like that aha moment?
I thought it was a lot of action going on in the beginning, and I didn't really know where it was going.
How did you like the action in general?
I didn't really like it a whole lot. I thought it was just too much back and forth, and you didn't really know where the storyline was going. I don't like that feeling.
So let me ask you, what did you like about the book?
I like the ending.
You like that's it? You just like the ending?
I like the ending.
What did you think of what did you think of the artwork?
It was good. I liked it.
Okay.
I like that style.
What didn't you like?
The beginning.
Just so the story action. So the story pacing you weren't a fan of, but you liked the sentiment more towards the end. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now I helped fill in a little bit of gaps. Did that change your appreciation for the title at all?
Not really, because the storyline is still the same. I mean, I kind of understood what the characters were somewhat, but the storyline was pretty basic. So based off on that, it's still gonna be the same rating.
Okay, so still a firm 7 out of 10.
Yep.
Okay. Anything you want to add?
No. Like I felt like the beginning should have been like a sequel from another issue. That's what I felt like.
Well, that's the thing though too. Like
I thought it was like starting in the middle. I'm like, do I not have the whole story?
This was kind of unique because it's a standalone issue.
Yes,
so
I didn't know that.
You didn't need anything before. You didn't need anything after.
It felt like there was something before it.
Yeah, I shouldn't say that. There was a thing before. Earlier in the New Mutants title, Scout, she used to go by Honey Badger. See you, Wellbore. Have a good one, sir. Was Dakin wasn't paying attention to her. X-23 was kind of off-world. That's in the vault if you've been reading the X-Men comics. She was kidnapped by the Shadow King. He's a villain, but on Krakoa, all the villains have amnesty, basically. And she was killed and resurrected. So there's that little bit of guilt Dakin has in that. So that's really the only other thing. My little guy wants me to hold him. Can't do that yet, buddy. You can't come on camera yet. Maybe if we put like a mask on you, we'll figure that out. But I think you're too little for that right now. So yeah, that was my wife's review of New Mutants number 29. Again, I love this book. Now, let me ask you the big question. As I said, and I think you might understand it why, I am thinking about buying a copy each of this for my siblings. Do you think that they'd appreciate that?
No.
Do you think any of them would appreciate it?
Maybe.
How many do you think out of my 5 siblings would really like,
Maybe one.
Which one?
Your tiny brother.
See, I would have thought Samantha would. Maybe.
No?
Yeah. Justin, maybe.
Because he used to collect comics, right? Or he used to be into it.
Well,
that's why.
I used to buy comics for him. I have a fair amount of Sonic the Hedgehog comics in my collection now because I would buy them for my little brother until he... little brother, I'm 43 going on 44. He is 21 going on 22. So to give you an idea of the age gap there. I used to buy comics for Joe too until like
he's not.
Yeah, no.
That.
It's my other brother who's going to be 30 in March.
No. Samantha, I can't. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, Samantha's very open-minded.
Pam, no.
Yeah, Pam probably not. Maybe Margot.
I don't think she would even read it.
Maybe Margot.
No.
Margot surprises you. You know, my sister Margot has always been a fan of kind of like her favorite cartoon was Coraline rather. So we kind of bonded a little bit over Neil Gaiman up until she was a teenager. She used to be my movie buddy. We went to see Transformers. We went to see
you were
early MC
with your brother too.
What?
With your little brother, we were seeing a lot.
Well, Joe, Samantha to a less extent. Justin was always afraid to go into a movie.
With us while we were going out?
Yeah, well, he was older at the time, but
not that much older.
He was more mature when I was at the time.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Justin didn't go to a movie with me until the first Avengers movie, and I was even surprised.
Yeah, that's why I figured he would like that the most because he's into superheroes and whatnot.
He really isn't though. No.
Oh, I thought he was.
No. So that was my wife's review of New Mutants number 29. If you want to see more reviews done by my wife, say something. Hey, Cup, I didn't see that you were going. Phil has more siblings than Nick Cannon has kids. Truth. Truth.
Oh
I used to tell people that my dad's thoughts on childbearing, he was like a radio station. Like he was playing the best of the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and today.
Oh my God.
But today's not today anymore.
That's funny.
So why don't we show off some of our decorations that are comic related? I'm going to show you a couple quick things. I had done a video last year around this time. Again, you got to go back and look for it, where I show off all of our comic related ornaments. But as we're getting ready to decorate, I figure let me grab those.
They're all boxed up.
I'm just going to grab a couple off the top. Nothing.
Do you know where they are?
Yeah, I could see them right here.
Oh, okay.
So my wife has an impeccable packing style. That's why she was like, "Do you know where they are?" So I figured I'd just show you a couple quick things. I'm trying not to repeat characters. So I have two Groots here. I'm just to show you one of them. Hey, Bay, how's it going? Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, a thumbs up is Much appreciated. So this is actually, I don't collect pops. This
He thinks it's a toy now.
I got when ThinkGeek shut down. Used to be a website I would get all my mugs and kind of comic and video game related things from. Like, here's my Mario Brothers Warp Zone mug. And my wife, I got this for free again because the site was closing down. I had some rewards points. My wife decided to make it into an ornament. So this will be on our tree. Here's a little baby Groot set up for the holidays. This is a little guy's first Christmas too. So he is enamored with the tree, and I could quickly see him learning to crawl.
He's reaching up for it.
When he sees this. There's another Groot here that plays music. I don't want YouTube to block us, so I won't be taking that one out or playing music for you. These ones, this style, I should say, I got this at Five Below, and I'm happy I did. It's a little dented. Have you watched the holiday special? No. Hopefully we'll watch that tonight. I don't know, though. Five Below had these, and you can't find these anymore. I really, really enjoy this style. I have a couple of characters like this.
I thought you didn't like that style.
I do. Well, for the ornaments, not for drawing.
Oh.
So yeah, there's a Hulk. Look on his forehead, just tiny. Here is a Spider-Man Hallmark one. It hangs upside down like this. See, buddy? You know Spider-Man. You know, if you've watched my channel for a while, you know that Spider-Man is my son's favorite character because he doesn't know any other. Yeah.
The blue and the red.
Here's a classic Batman, kind of like the Adam West show. You can tell because of the eyebrows.
Yeah.
You like Batman, buddy? He doesn't like Batman as much as Groot. Go figure. And oh, the Wolverine one I have to show you. I'll do that on another one because it's not in this box. And it's been. This is a Hulk I've had since I was a kid. Yeah, it says actually 1981 on the back of it.
Wow.
This is really cool. I had lost this for the longest time. I just found it again last year. And the back of it, there's some red strings that are detached because you used to be able to actually kind of move these around.
You kind of still can.
You can. My wife has taped the back of it for the string, but
well, the string isn't really working anymore.
Hulk has it's got to be like a industrial strength candy cane and present, you figure, because Hulk just crushes stuff. See Hulk, buddy? I think he likes this one because it's bright green.
Is he smiling?
No, right now he's a little bewildered and kind of wants to play everything. Yeah, and White Mojo Wolf, if you're still watching, here's a Mario. Oh,
yeah, Deadpool.
And Deadpool's coming along with him, it looks like. It's a me, Mario.
That looks like a movie. He's like going down.
Yeah, Mario and Deadpool. Mario Pool. So I'm going to wrap it up for today. Again, just a couple of my stuff. I figure you might want to take a look at that. Again, stay tuned because as soon as I have that iPad in hands, which they're saying at the latest is going to be December 1st, I am going to be filming some videos. I do have at least one unboxing because my CBCS order, this I teased at the beginning, from last year has finally arrived. It's been a long year, and I'm going to also give you my little assessment of CBCS's service. Just a quick plug for you, the Comic Book Community Awards voting has ended, but I think everybody here knows Brian. He is going to be having his live show next week where you see all the winners. And check it out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. In the meantime, I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your day, your week, your month, or even your year. And I know everybody has some chores to do, so take a look at, here in New Jersey, it's a nicer day after we had some rain yesterday, and it's not as cold as it's been. Mm-hmm. Luckily, we got most of our outside chores done already, so we're just going to enjoy. And hope to see everybody soon. Thanks again. Peace, love, and comics. Take care.